Alrighty. Ideally, this video goes up basically right before the event, for those who do not know. Or this goes up the day before, one, the other, or both. I'm not entirely certain. But for those who do not know about the Marcy Rheintgen situation, basically, she is the trans woman who went into the courthouse in Florida and got arrested for going to the women's bathroom despite, being a woman. And yes, there is more information to that situation besides just the words I said. And yes, I've already made a video about this, several in fact, but this is a very pressing, time-sensitive issue, so we're going to be doing another one on it right now. And the reason I'm doing so is because we have information on what we are going to be doing around the event. Now, my personal goal is to be in the courthouse during the event itself, but it is likely that I will not have that opportunity. I will probably end up having to be one of the people in the crowd of the protest. If that ends up being the case, then that's just what the case is. Just James says, oh, he read my question but didn't answer. Y'all are all side-eyeable. Is there a give, send, go campaign? No, no, right now. Yes, there is one that she is going to be setting up. This is not about trying to get money there as of right now. This is trying to get a bunch of support over to her. Though, she has said on a Reddit AMA that she will be making sure that there is something here. She is just, like, between this and finals, completely overwhelmed with everything that has been going on. So give me just a second, because Brooke sent this to me. We'll get into her AMA here in a second, but this is an event happening at 9 a.m. in Leon County, at the Leon County Courthouse on Monroe Street in Tallahassee, Florida. Mary Rheintgen is a trans woman who took bold action to protest against Florida's bill that banned trans women from using the women's restroom. She alerted Florida lawmakers she was going to a specific location to use a specific bathroom, knowing in her heart that those lawmakers wouldn't be so cruel as to uphold this heinous law, but unfortunately she was wrong, and law enforcement was waiting there for her, telling her to leave. She bravely entered the bathroom, washed her hands, and was promptly arrested. This event is meant to gather as many people as possible to show support for her courage and to protest the injustice against trans people everywhere. The plan is to be there from the time the courthouse opens to the time it closes. Again, the ideal situation is that there are so many of us there that the inevitable police presence that will also be there is entirely dwarfed. That is the idea. Whenever you are doing a protest, you never want to be in a small protest. You want to be in a large protest. The more people at the protest, the harder it is for things like arrests to happen. You also want as many people who are at the protest to be feeling as humanly possible. Now, there is another page here. That one was on Mobilize. I've told you guys about Mobilize. I have asked you guys to use Mobilize. This is one of the reasons we use Mobilize. Then there is another post here, which is basically the same verbiage. This event is meant to gather as many people as possible to show support. Leon County Courthouse. This one is on events.poll/rev.com. Links to these should be in the description of this video. In fact, I am going to go ahead and send both of these to Guitar Rocker. That way they have access to this, because they will need these links when uploading these videos. That said, I want to go over the AMA that Marcy had, as we are also trying to make sure that we have more and more eyes on an event like this. It is very short notice, I understand, but the Marjorie Taylor Greene protest was done on a notice of a very, very small amount of time. Like, we're talking hours of time, because she would not give the location that she was going to be having her, quote, town hall in. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to do similarly here. That said, I am not one of the organizers, so I can't answer any questions here, but there is the link to Mobilize and events.poll, where you should be able to get in contact with people who did set these events up. Now, her AMA starts with, I am Marcy Rheintgen. I am the trans girl who got arrested for using the women's washroom. Ask me anything. For those who've asked for my gives and go, because I may potentially need help with stuff like that, like travel and legal fees, relocation, my gives and go is this. Okay, so she actually does have a gives and go, or a gives and go. Yep, give, send, go. All right, I apologize. There is a give, send, go. I had read the campaign. Sorry, not read the campaign. I had read the AMA earlier, and there was not a give, send, go at the time, but now there is one. There will be a link to that in the description as well. I just sent that over to Guitar Rocker as well. Okay, so. First question on here, all answered. Make sure that we have everything that is answered. I hope you're doing okay. I read your comments regarding TERFs disclosing personal information. Please keep yourself safe as the top priority. What you did was a brave thing, but I worry about the target on your back from right-wing folks. No doubt things are difficult at the moment, but keep your chin up and know the entire community is with you. Guitar Rocker says, do you want me to upload this segment tonight? I think this segment needs to be the 8 a.m. segment for tomorrow. I think that the Piedmont protest segment needs to become the Thursday segment. And this becomes the segment that goes up tomorrow, only because this is as time sensitive as it is. So as soon as I'm done recording this part, I will be putting this into our Google Drive so that you should be able to edit this post-haste. Apologies for the very, very quick nature of this, but this is kind of the reality when we're dealing with stuff that is super time sensitive. Okay. So, Marcy responds, saying, thanks, I'm scared honestly about the target. I really don't know what I'm doing. I was a normal college kid before all this and was just honestly not prepared to be targeted because they're mad that they imprisoned me. It's so crazy. They literally got what they wanted, what they slobber and drool about in that they got to imprison me for being trans, and they are still mad. TERFs are perpetually unhappy. Oh my god. Which, yeah, that's entirely fair. Like, TERFs are not very happy people. I do not find people who are generally happy to be the people who are constantly talking about other people or otherwise constantly trying to scrutinize their lives. Axo says, also, this isn't redeem mid-topic. No one's redeemed, but I'm saying it now. Oh, I have no... Saying what now? Anyway, continuing on. From Queer Girl is Needed, are you okay? I've got a ton of respect for you, but I'm also terrified for you. Marcy says, I'm not okay. I'm not well. This is a lot, and I'm just a kid. I am not even old enough to drink. And this is basically the same sentiment that I've been seeing from her in DMs. There's a person who is responsible for trying to give her more media exposure who's in my DMs or in a group chat, and this has been effectively the same sentiment that has been said there. And it makes sense to be scared, right? It makes sense to be scared as hell. This is one of the reasons why I am going to be traveling to Florida tomorrow. And when you see me on Vice Rhino's show, you will be seeing me from inside a hotel room because I will be bringing my laptop and I will be doing all of my work from a hotel, basically. My throwaway, 6973, says, I saw your conversation on Dead Domain. You seem like an amazingly sweet person. How are things for you right now? And she says, I love Jordan. Jordan's nice. Dead Domain is awesome. I was on Dead Domain's podcast for Magic the Gathering stuff recently. I think they're fucking fantastic. That I'm really scared. I'm being harassed by a lot of high-profile TERFs on Twitter right now, and I'm afraid they're going to dox my address because they've already released a copious amount of my personal information that makes doxing me relatively easy. And yeah, that's a good reason to be scary. I can definitely empathize with this kind of situation. I have not dealt with this same level of scrutiny before, but I've dealt with smaller levels of it, and I can say that that shit was scary on its own. I can't imagine what the hell she is going through at this particular point. Like, this is fucking terrifying. This is one of the reasons why we are trying to get so many people to go and support her at the courthouse on the 8th, which is in 2 days from recording, 1 day from uploading. If you are in Florida, this is your destination to be. This is an alert. If you are not in Florida, if you want to get more people there, the best thing you can do is to get this video, or at the very least, it doesn't have to be my video. I don't care if it's my video. It helps me, obviously, if it's my video, but I need as many people, content creators and otherwise, to get there. And if you are a content creator who's going to be at the event, let's go ahead and link up so that we can be stronger together. There's always a chance something bad might happen to one of us, but if we're all filming, it's a lot harder for any of that to happen. But let's go ahead and continue here. When it first happened, I heard you did it as a deliberate protest, but I haven't been keeping up. Is this true? If so, what gave you the courage, and what's the tipping point? How long were you in jail? I've never met you, but I genuinely have so much respect for you. When I read the news, I cried because of how unfair it was and how terrible the discourse was around it. I hope that you stay safe and are doing your best to be well despite everything. You will always have a community behind you. Lenaria says, I have relatives down there, but they're bougie Trumpers, so I don't know if they'll help. Paige says, just as the motto of the raid Area 51 goes, they can't shoot all of us. Yeah, but that one was a meme, and this is real life. Marcy Rheintgen says, wow, thank you. Honestly, a lot of small things built up that made me do it, but nothing gave me the courage. I wasn't courageous or brave. I was scared shitless. All right, I'm going to interrupt you right there, Marcy. No, you were courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing something despite that fear, or even because of that fear, but it's not the absence of it. It's recognizing that anything can happen. There is a non-zero chance when you go to a protest, for instance, that you're going to get arrested, that you're going to get beat, that you're going to get shot. There's a non-zero chance these things happen. Courage is going despite that, not because you have an absence of that. She says, life is continuous, not discrete. I was quietly brewing for a while, slowly boiling as I had seen all this stuff happen. But as it dripped, I felt deeper and deeper sense of injustice. A lot of the points were things in my personal life that I would not like to share here, but I've noticed a profound lack of dignity in how we are treated. It deeply bothers me. The Hunter Schafer stuff probably sent me over the edge. I've sort of thought about doing this kind of thing in passing for a while now, but that was the last straw for me. I decided to do it only a couple of weeks before. And that is kind of how this shit ends up happening for a lot of people. They decide that this is something that needs to simply happen because it is necessary. That's it. That is it. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to have concrete plans for everything. Sometimes it's as simple as, hey, something is being thrown together last second because we have all the information last second. That just happens. And that is normal. Also, the Hunter Schafer thing that she is referring to was this, her passport being forcefully changed. Which happened to, I hate to bring this back to my own experiences, but I think it lends credibility to stuff like this. So this happened to Saki as well. So when you go to get your passport, you have to send in a birth certificate. And Saki sent in her birth certificate. And when we sent in both of ours, not only did it take them much longer to send back Saki's, but when she got her passport, several weeks after I got mine, they had changed her gender on the passport. Which is weird considering that her birth certificate has the gender marker legally changed on it, despite the fact that her gender marker had been legally changed. And it shows that way on everything, her ID, her driver's license, everything. It does not matter. They still changed her name on the passport. It's a deliberate act of anti-trans cruelty that the Trump administration has forced through because humanity is completely lost on these psychopaths. So, said Grill, do you have a legal fund or something? She said, I'm going to start one soon. I've just been so busy. I'll announce it in the next few days. If you want to help, follow my Twitter and TikTok, which, of course, there is a Fund Me now. There's the Give, Send, Go, which, let's go ahead and refresh that. There is a goal of $163,000 US for the legal defense, with 9,000 raised so far. Then Spice Weasel says, hi, I am a lawyer. I worked with LGBTQ community aid nonprofits in Illinois. I'm also trans myself. What you did was inspiring and incredibly brave, especially for someone so young. That said, have you gotten the support you need to fight this? Like, are you working with the ACLU or Lambda Legal or any other groups? There are groups out there that can help you on the legal side of things. I assume you've been connected. But if not, please DM me, and I will get you in touch with the right organizations. Also, please know that if you ever do need to flee Florida or someplace safer, there are a lot of us in blue states working hard to make sure trans people fleeing red states, seeking safety, have sanctuary waiting for them. If you ever find yourself fleeing, we would welcome you with open arms here in Illinois. Guitar Rocker says, if they change the passport but not everything else, wouldn't that make it harder for them to travel because they're potentially thinking it's fraudulent? Yeah, I imagine that's going to be a problem if we end up needing to use the passport. That's a fear that I have, 110%. But I can't do anything about that. I simply have to accept that this is where we are. Trace James says, I don't know everything that's on a birth certificate. Is there any information on Saki's birth certificate that would indicate she is trans? Or would they have to get that somewhere else? They'd have to get it somewhere else. They'd have to get it somewhere else. Is there anything else in here that is prominent? Hi, how did you come out to your family? I'm getting ready to come out to my mom who's coming for a visit, but I'm extremely nervous and scared. Pre-HRT, still in boy mode. She responds by saying, I brought them to therapy and told them in therapy, and it did not go well. I don't want to badmouth them, but be fully prepared for it to go horribly. Like, mentally. Try to act with grace and humility in the face of prejudice. I halfway agree with you. I think acting with grace is sometimes giving too much credence to people who don't deserve it. But that's just me. Lenari says, oh, hey, Jinx. That's probably future not about... Okay. Zero Life King says, so it looks like everyone who knows Tulsi, everybody knows Tulsi Gabbard's passwords now. Look, turncoats are turncoats, and they deserve to be made fun of. She's asked, are you on Blue Sky? I know a lot of trans women who would like to support you there as well. She says, on everything, including Blue Sky. But to be honest, I don't use it that much. It seems kind of niche. I'm going to say right now, that was the case until Elon kept doing dumb Nazi stuff. It's not really niche anymore. Like, I feel like I get the exact same experience on Blue Sky without the massive advertisements and the right-wing grift. Like, enough people have moved over to Blue Sky. Just follow people on Blue Sky, and you will get the same experience you did on Twitter. I promise you. Kanto says, how do you keep all the hatred from getting to you? And she says, I don't. This is a part that honestly makes sense. Like, she's young. She's under 21. It's hard when you are a fresh adult who is still trying to learn how to navigate life to figure out how you are supposed to handle all of the dumb fucking situations life throws at you. And when you do something like go and get arrested for something that you shouldn't have been arrested for in the first place, you're gonna get more of that dumb scrutiny than anybody else normally gets. Unfortunately, the only thing you can do is learn how to adapt fast. You're very rapidly not being given a choice, which sounds heartless to say, but it is also the reality of the situation. Like, I hate to say, welcome to the People Know Your Name Club, but once they do, you get the death threats, you get the shitty emails, you get the people saying your name on Reddit or in Discord chats or on Twitter. You get this shit a lot, and it sucks. And it's horrible, and it's not something that people should have to deal with, because quite frankly, even though it's great that we live in a super interconnected world now, honestly, that interconnectivity has caused us to know more about each other than we ever should have known in the first place, and have far closer access to each other's personal business than we ever should have had in the first place. And this does not do well for the average person's mental health, let alone somebody who has effectively become a public figure overnight. Says, respect, why are you on Twitter? It's a cesspool. You got to get in the mud to fight the monsters. I agree and disagree. I do not think you have to be on Twitter, but that is not my decision to make. Said, what precisely they said they were charging you with? And said, they're charging me with trespassing because it makes it harder for me to challenge the bathroom build law. So they can't just charge her with the actual law. They have to charge her with trespassing as a separate thing. Said, what's your political affiliation, if you don't mind me asking? When I first heard the story, you were reported as a conservative, and it struck me as odd given the circumstances. She says, I'm not a conservative. That report was erroneous, and it's haunted me ever since. I guess I'm on the left. I wasn't really political before all of this. I was just kind of thrown into it, but I think my beliefs would be similar to the left-wing political activist of future St. Dorothy Day. Okay, there we go. That makes sense that would be her method of comparison. She is Catholic, so yeah, there we go. Which is a different answer than she gave on Dead Domain's channel, but at the same time, there has been time since then till now. I'm sorry, you don't go and bat for other people's lives when you are strictly on the right. Lenaria says radicalized makes sense. Yeah, and we need to destigmatize the word radicalization. Like, it's okay for people to get radicalized in a world that is increasingly doing things that are not the norm and are trying to make life horrible for all of us. I don't have a question, but as a trans woman and a mom, I wanted to say I'm really proud of you for standing up for yourself and all of us. Sorry for the hiccups. Even if it's so scary and life-changing, it took so much courage to even be public about this, more than most can ever be expected to muster. I know things are really frightening right now, but hold your head high as best as you can and make sure you continue to prioritize your safety. She says, I don't like being public about it, but it is inevitable. Yep. I love you, I know. I guess Illy IK says, how can we best support you legally and in any other ways you may need? She says, I posted this somewhere, but I'm going to announce my Gives and Go on Twitter and TikTok, so here are those links. I might even post here, honestly, if you guys would want that. Yeah, the Reddit AMA wants that. And it looks like she does have the Gives and Go right there, which is good. This is so I can pay for travel and possibly legal expenses or relocation in the future because I'm in danger of getting doxxed. Makes entirely too much sense given what the hell is going on right now. So that's all we're going to be covering in the AMA. Now we get to the what to do about this. And I've kind of already told you what to do about this in the beginning, right? Like, that's not new information. I'm not giving you anything you didn't already have a couple of minutes ago. So let's rehash it from last video and from this video. The first thing you can do to help is show the hell up to this event. Period. That's it. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. That's the biggest thing you can do right now is show up to this event. Secondly, if you want to help Marcy specifically, then she has the Give, Send, Go. Please help with that. Share if you cannot. Whatever method you would like to use here, by all means, go ahead and support there. And if you want to support specifically me and my attempts to get over there and do what I can to support and film and document and do everything that is in my power as somebody who has a job doing this for a living, then please consider donating directly to my PayPal or hit the ! Dono so that you can help me pay for my travel expenses heading down there. Though my needs are significantly lower monetarily, I don't even think that I hit quad digits right now in terms of financial need for going and taking care of this. So, that all said, please consider helping out Marcy if you can. Please, I am begging each and every one of you, either show up or show out by sharing this video or the Mobilize for Marcy, all of that fun stuff everywhere on every social media that you possibly can. We cannot fight this shit alone, and I most certainly cannot be the only goddamn content creator that is going to be in Florida trying to cover this. We need more than me. We need more than you. We need all of us together all at once. You know what to do. Now just go do it. Insert into video tagline here. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full-time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fire Shard. thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.